individuality, and search for enlightenment in meeting. In your book, paragraph 2, however, you attribute these themes largely to the profound impact of growing up in England after World War II. Do you think that the post-war atmosphere amplified these perennial human questions with you and your contemporaries?
I think that's what the entire book is really about, the serious stuff. That's really what I wanted to address, was that the post-war, you know, it was not just interesting about the fact that, you know, I've heard Keith Richards say the same thing. We grew up in bomb buildings, you know, we would go through these bomb buildings and we would find watches. And I can remember once one of my friends finding a human bone. You know, we were 4 years old and we were playing in bomb sites. And, but when that music that we started to produce in the 63, 64, 65 to address the fact that the boys that were coming to see the band felt very disenfranchised because, you know, you weren't needed, you weren't given guns to go and shoot Germans. I'm sorry if there are any Germans here, but you weren't asked to do anything for your country, for your queen, for your parents. You were just asked to shut up. There's peace. We've got sugar. What more do you want? Then suddenly, this music lands in America, and guess what? For some reason, you guys had exactly the same stuff going on, but it wasn't quite so clearly delineated. You know, the only bomb experience that you had was Pearl Harbor, which was incredibly traumatic, and led to the much bigger bomb that followed, which ended the war and changed civilization as we know it. And caused all of the neuroses that I suffered when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, when I thought that there was no future. However, when we first brought our music to America in 1967, we found that the young people in America had exactly the same problem. They were disenfranchised. You know, for them too, there was no need for them to join the military. There was no great drive for them to join the military. The military was being reduced, the Navy was being reduced, everything was, you know, being computerized. You know, what we were going to be doing from then on, it was all going to be push-button warfare, and it would all be over in a heartbeat. And I think it was fascinating that the post-war syndrome, which was so acute for me as a child in the UK, would resonate in America too. There's no question about that. You know, the other thing is that some of the deeper, darker things behind A Quick One While He's Away, which is obviously about somebody, some child, someone being hurt, which I now think could have been me. But in Tommy, where you've got a child who's being experimented with, you know, used as a tool in a family that's suffering from you know, a post-war breakup, that resonated with so many young American kids. So, you know, I'm not sure that everything was particularly in order here either. You know, and then you suddenly think, well, why would it be? Because you guys fought too. You know, you guys may have fought in a different landscape, but you fought, you know, so a lot of those men didn't come back. You know, 5 million people were killed in the First World War, but, you know, maybe 1 million American soldiers died, you know, in the last few years of that fighting. I don't know what the statistic is, but however many it was, these are guys that did not come back. And as a result of that, we enjoyed peace. But the devastation that causes, I'm not trying to get too deep here or dark. You just have to look at this, you know, with your eyes wide open. This fucking changed things. Changed things hugely. It's like now if you meet somebody who worked around, you know, maybe on the site of 9/11. You know, there were a bunch there yesterday, guys that were at 9/11. And at the thing before, there were a couple of people that, you know, that had been there, you know, working on the site. It changed forever. And they come and see me simply because the Who played at the 9/11 concert and did a good job, but we just happened to be there. But I think that so the post-war thing that I stumbled on, which was, I didn't want to make anything of it. I just thought, hey, this is an audience that haven't got any music. I can give it to them. I can give them something. People try to put us down. That's as far as it went. You know, it was just, you know, we have nothing. We're disenfranchised.
We're going to get to the point now where we're going to have a few questions from the audience, and we're going to have at least get to 3 of them. We'll see how things go. We have to sort of check about the time, but we've got a couple of ushers down in the front, and we have one up top. There's no way we're going to get to every